All right. Chainsaw Man chapter 173 just came out, and I can actually do the discussion a bit earlier today because I have a day off from work. But, anyways, the chapter is titled Hard of Hearing because, everyone lost their ears last chapter, which makes it a little difficult to hear. And the chapter opens with just people and beings around the world um, losing their ears and reacting to their newly loss of hearing. And because of the memory altering thing that Pochita does, most people don't really realize that they've lost something unless they are doing something that's specific to hearing, like talking on the phone. Uh, bu- bu- bu. But anyways, we jump to a group of prisoners in the public safety facility. The operator is asking them to confirm that they lost their ears, but they can't really respond because, they can't hear her. So the public safety does have, I guess, a means of keeping track of the stuff that Pochita is eating at the moment. But for those that are kind of confused about why she asked them to exclude like stuff like names, it's because in Japanese the word she's using is mimi and for ear, and mimi is like a name. So that's what's happening here. There may be some. I don't really blame the translators for this one because it's pretty hard to like carry over to English. But the operator sees that the prisoners aren't really reacting, so she confirms the eraser of ears, and then she talks to the Team C to do their thing. I don't know how they're hearing her because she's talking through a walkie-talkie. But anyways, we jump to the supposed Team C. It's three guys in the bathroom facing a mirror, and they cut off their left index fingers and then use them as markers on the mirror. Each of them says a body part, presumably for the mirror devil to attack, and they write hit on the mirror, one for each syllable. And if you're curious, in Japanese, it's nagure. So it's if you write it like correctly, it's two words. But in Fujimoto's world, in the Chainsaw Man world, they use katakana a lot rather than the whole kanji. So I guess they're writing it by syllables. One sacrifice for each syllable. And they get the mirror devil to attack Pochita. But before we get into that, I just want to go over the design of the mirror devil. And again, this could be just recency bias for me, just because the chapter came out like not even 2 hours ago. But I think this is my favorite design of a devil so far, just because of how much the themes of the devil like connect with their design. So to kind of break it down, we can tell it's the mirror devil, right? Because they're sitting on the throne of a broken mirror. And when you look at like stuff like its posture and then stuff like its heels and its hair, its long hair, you can kind of tell it's like a more feminine devil, right? It's more reflective of like a woman, maybe becoming disillusioned with her appearance, like finding flaws in her appearance when she looks at the mirror. And beyond that, it's like she's sitting cross-legged and let's see, but when you see like a close-up of the face, you kind of see like an aging woman, but her face is split and the flesh like covers her eyes, almost like as if she don't want to look at the mirror. And I just like this design a lot. And I think even the body, there's something to be noted in that if you look at like the body, it's a bunch of branches forming together. It's like a skinny body. It's almost like a woman maybe being annoyed at like perceiving herself as overweight. And in the chest area, there's a hole there. Perhaps, noting that her own perceived appearance is leaving like something to be desired in her heart, like some insecurities there. And I think it's just a great design overall. On top of that, you have this throne of fingers and grafted human skins and two men with their hands cut off or their arms cut off, being used as a throne. So perhaps also like another note on the subject of like keeping up with appearances and glamour. Maybe this devil wants to be perceived as high class, something like that. But yeah. But on another note, speaking of the guy underneath the throne, when you close up to the guy, you can note that he has ears still. So what does that mean exactly? So it could be a couple of things, right? It could be that the Mere Devil is residing in hell, which could potentially suggest that there is a delay of the Pochita's erasure. Like it takes some time for it to reach hell, for like ears to be erased. Or the Mere Devil could have their own dimension, which, maybe possibly the same thing. Or maybe Fujimoto just forgot to not draw the ears. Could be a variety of things. Because if you look at the background, the hell from what we saw does have like a grassy, like it's covered in grass. So it could be a variety of things. But yeah, presumably these two guys were just kidnapped from the human world to be used as a chair for maybe eternity or maybe for the next week until they die. And then the Mere Devil will have to find new sacrifices. Or it's even that the public safety just voluntarily sacrificed a couple human beings for them. Because we saw in other countries that's what they do as well, like Germany did with the three kids. So a lot of implications to be made here. But anyways, the freaking Mere Devil manifests a mirror right on top of Pochita and just punches him from above. But Pochita retaliates by cutting off two of its fingers, its middle and its ring finger, which could be a reference to like the devil's horn hand sign, or maybe it could just be a coincidence, who knows. But then Yoshida manifests out of nowhere and then wraps Pochita with this tentacle, and then forces Pochita to throw up the ear devil, which restores the hearing of the ears and hearing of, well, like everyone. So that's the end of the chapter. But when we look at it, we can maybe assume that the public safety sector kind of planned this part out in that they sent, because previously we thought that they were just incompetent and they sent in like the ear devil to be eaten. But looking back, we can maybe, it could be suggested that it was all planned out and they were testing whether they can, you know, get Pochita to throw up the devil's test he's eaten in the past. But then again, the whole entire sector seemed to be really confused by like the loss of hearing. So I don't know. But someone on Reddit also noted out that Yoshida appeared like right next to Pochita here, because that's the bookshelf where Pochita was standing before he got like pummeled. And here is Yoshida just teleporting out like right in front of him. So that's a possibility. But it could also just be that the assistant for this chapter is reusing backgrounds. But we have seen Yoshida teleport in the past, so I think it's a safe assumption to think that he's like in front of Pochita right now. But we'll find out next chapter probably. But also there is right before Yoshida did his attack, the Mirror Devil noted that they called Yoshida human, which kind of contradicts a pretty popular theory around Yoshida that he is actually a devil, or the Death Devil to be specific, because people think Yoshida might be a devil for a variety of reasons, but like one of the bigger ones is that the Horseman Devils have, outside of Makima, so the Horseman Devils in part 2 have so far all kind of look like a character from Fujimoto's previous works. Like Nayuta had the Yogen no Nayuta one shot, and then Asa looks like one of the girls from Look Back, and what you call it? What's the other one? Fami. She looked like the one from Goodbye Eri a little bit. So that's part of why people been theorizing Yoshida as like the Death Devil, because he looks a bit like Togata from Fire Punch. But this may contradict that, but we'll see. I was never like that big on that theory to begin with, because I think it's kind of a lazy theory. But regardless, that's about the end of the chapter. There will be a next chapter next week, and let me see. Got some comments today. Let's see. You don't think that's the Mirror Devil? I really don't. I don't see what else it could be. Like the three guys are drawing into a mirror, and you got like a broken mirror on the guy's or on the devil's back. And I think I went over like the vanity aspects of this devil. I don't know, but yeah, I really like this design just because like it's how connected it is to the mirror theme. But I don't know the significance of these two guys other than just adding on to the vanity concept. But yeah, that's about it from me for today. Yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Let me see. Wait, got some more. What if he makes him throw up the nuclear weapons? Yeah, that is what Yoru said in the start of part 2. So that's I think that's probably gonna happen at some point. Uh, Yoru might be able to make Pochita vomit out nuke. Yes, yes. We think everyone in chat thinks similarly. I like how they just collect fingers because they seem more chill than the other devils. I don't know if like collecting fingers is chill. Like personally, I'm not good with like finger gore. Like I'm okay with most types of gores in movies, but finger gore I'm not okay with. I couldn't watch the latest John Wick movie because there was like in the middle of it there was a guy who got stabbed through the hand, which I'm okay with. But then the guy that like stabbed him in the hand started like dragging the knife out between his hands, and then I had to stop the movie, like stop watching the movie after that. I still haven't went back. Ooh, give me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. But yeah, fingers, terrible, terrible gore. That's why I can never be the Yakuza, man. Yes, Igor. Igor is probably the only other gore that like tops fingers. I can't do eyes, I can't do fingers. You know, I don't think I'm just very good with gore in general now that I think about it. I might be reading the wrong manga. But yeah, that's about it for me. I'll see you guys next week because there's a chapter next week. Bye bye.